Do you ever feel like you're lacking self-love or self-confidence? If you answered yes to this question, you're going to want to stay tuned for this episode of the Whole Assistant Show. I'm going to share with you my number one piece of advice for increasing these vital components to happiness. Assistants, if you would like more self-care and productivity strategies geared towards you, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when my weekly videos go live. I'm Annie Croner of WholeAssistant.com. And on this season of the Whole Assistant Show, we're exploring simple mindset shifts that can have a huge impact when it comes to overcoming our limiting beliefs. On today's episode, we're going to explore how to embrace our innate worthiness. This is important because our worthiness affects so many things. Worthiness is the foundation for self-love, self-respect, and confidence. And what's more is that worthiness just is. There's no earning worthiness. We are worthy by the very nature of being here on this planet and taking up space and breathing air. Our worthiness is truly innate. It just comes with a package. Now, whether or not we decide to embrace it is a completely different thing. Oftentimes, I've noticed that we tend to question or doubt our innate worthiness. And this questioning can lead to some issues, including looking outside of ourselves for validation and acceptance, and looking outside of ourselves for those things, if we don't have a foundation inside first, can lead to either perfectionism and making sure that everything has to be perfect in order for it to be valid so that people can validate us and our work that we're doing, or it can lead to people pleasing, which is essentially trying to control people and what they think about us. Doubting our worthiness can also lead to a lack of confidence when setting parameters around our time and our energy. I've noticed this to be especially true for us assistants because we want so badly to be helpful, but we don't actually set the boundaries we want to set because we aren't sure whether or not we're worthy to be able to set them. You are worthy to be able to set them by very nature of being on this planet and having your own preferences and your own guidelines for life. And last but not least, doubting our worthiness can lead us to be extra hard on ourselves because we aren't coming from a place of self-love and self-worth. We're coming from a place of needing validation from other people. So whenever we make a mistake, we get really hard on ourselves and we don't show ourselves grace. I know I have certainly been guilty of this. But recently, or actually not so recently, probably about a year ago, I decided I was only going to speak kindly to myself. And that was a decision I made that was really helpful for me. And it's been amazing the amount of self-love I've had, but that self-love is rooted in my worthiness as a human. Now I want to hear from you. What other areas of life have you found to be affected by worthiness? Please leave a comment below sharing your experience. The question then becomes, how do we embrace our worthiness? We embrace our worthiness by simply making the decision to do so. We recognize that we are worthy, first of all, and then we live into it. So this will look kind of like a fake it till you make it situation. So we're going to pretend that we've already arrived at the worthiness. And even if we don't fully believe it in our brain yet, we're not fully there yet, we can still embrace our worthiness by pretending to embrace our worthiness until we know that we're worthy. So we're living from a place having already arrived at worthiness, and so we take action from that place. And the more you take action from the place of having already arrived, the more worthy you're going to feel, the more confident you're going to feel, the more self-love and self-respect you're going to feel. It's kind of one of those weird chicken or egg things. But I found this to be true for me 100%. In the story I mentioned before, where I just decided I was only going to speak kindly to myself, that was a challenge for me at first. And I would notice my brain start to go down the, oh, you stupid idiot, you're such a dummy path. And I would go, no. You're a human like everybody else. And, I would treat myself like I would my best friend. And that really was a fake it till you make it type scenario where I was really talking to myself in a way that I didn't fully believe at the time, but that was so beneficial long term because I ended up believing it. When you start treating yourself well and treating yourself like you would your best friend, inevitably you will start to believe those things and you'll start to replace those negative thoughts with the more positive ones, the more helpful ones. Now you know how important it is to decide that you're worthy, because worthiness affects so many things, including our confidence and self-love. Now I want to hear from you. What's one thing you're going to do this week to embrace your worthiness? Please leave a comment below. If you're interested in avoiding burnout and developing better self-care strategies, please check out my free mini-masterclass, 3 Steps to Beautifully Banish Burnout. The link is below. To continue this discussion and receive support from your fellow assistants and administrative professionals, please head on over to facebook.com/groups/wholeassistant to join our assistants-only community. If you like this episode, please let me know by hitting the like button below. Also, be sure to subscribe and share this video with your fellow assistants and administrative professionals. And last but not least, if this video has helped you in any way, I want to know about it. So please leave a comment below sharing how.